right. It is another week, so there is another Centre Circle podcast. This is now episode 68. Keep your back, can you?
Yep.
All good. You got myself, John, here with Adrian and Keith. How you doing, lads?
Well, I can't complain. I'm good.
I'm very well today.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Well, yeah.
Come with another of your flipping kits, bro.
Gone retro today.
Proper retro.
Right, as you can hear from Keith's
Joy.
Yeah, let's just call it. I was gonna say something rude, but yeah, he's joy. We've got a few games to go through. One of which he's very happy about. So Liverpool, United. So Liverpool away at Old Trafford. We'll talk about that. Arsenal were home to Brighton. Controversial draw. We'll talk through that. Newcastle, Spurs. I've got some chat for you, Spurs fans. Everton, Bournemouth. It might be the greatest capitulation in the history of the Premier League. And then City, West Ham, where Erling Haaland is effectively just playing FIFA with the league, essentially. And then we'll run through some other topics. I think Keith has something to get off his chest about the transfer window. We'll have a look back at some of the transfer dealings. Who's made some good signings, who's made some not so good signings, and who's really kind of just done well out the window. Now the window's closed, you can have my predictions. I'm a man of my word. We'll do that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And then we've got the new Champions League draw that looks like you need a degree to decipher the format. So we'll talk through that. So yeah, first things first. Liverpool United. Liverpool went to Old Trafford and beat their biggest rivals, or used to be biggest rivals, 3-0. I'm going to let you start with this one, Keith, because that man...
The floor to Keith, yeah?
Casemiro, stay in your house this evening.
So as I just said before we started recording, I was a little bit nervous, and that's because when we played Man United 3 times last year, even though we played well, they were what my mate Water would call a spoiler team. They didn't really set up to win the game, and I thought that's what he might do with his tactics.
Yeah.
This time around. But they set up a little bit more open than I expected. So I was like, okay, fair enough, all good. However, I'd say the first 10-15 minutes, they had the better of the game. Like, they had a lot of the possession. They didn't have any shots on target, but they forced quite a few corners in that opening kind of 15 minutes or so. And I was like, okay, yeah, we're going to be in a game here. But I think once we kind of got our rhythm and kind of nullified what they were doing, because they weren't trying to do anything new or expressive. It was just like quite intense. Like, they were just trying to move the ball forward, get the ball to Kobe, try to get it out wide to either Rashford or Garnacho, etc. And yeah, we kind of nullified that threat with, like I say, within the first 15 minutes. And then we just kind of took control of the game. And like, I know there's a lot of clamour among Liverpool fans about not signing a 6 to be specific. But I think today was Gravenberch's best performance in a Liverpool shirt. And I know everyone's saying, he's playing in a 6. I think it's not more that he's playing in a 6 per se. Like, so he's not essentially a DM. Because I think the way Slot has set up his team is that we don't really need that kind of protector. Like, there's a lot of rotation within the midfield 3. Say Barca was like, because he's like the one furthest forward.
Yeah.
But Gravenberch and McAllister rotation, like today, really, really good. And I'm happy with the performance today.
I bet you were. Did you watch the game, Vince?
No, unfortunately, I was out. But I watched some of the highlights and goals and stuff like that, following different chat groups. So yeah.
And look, let's give Liverpool their flowers. Diaz, first goal was a simple header at the back post. Again, my United defenders not looking who's behind them, all ball watching. Right, you can't blame Harry Maguire this time. He was on the bench chilling. Heated seats probably and all that. But the finish, Diaz's second goal, the finish.
Yeah, wrapped his foot around it well.
Onana, I feel like that Diaz one, Diaz one beat him a little bit too easy. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think he expected it, to be honest. I think that's why it kind of caught him off guard. So like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's a tidy finish.
Yeah.
And then you look back at it, it's like, oh, okay, maybe he should have done better.
It's not in the corner. It's not right in the corner. It's
Yeah.
a great finish, but it's not right in the
But I
corner.
think it was a little bit behind Diaz, and I think he's caught him a little bit off guard. But the opening two goals came from United errors. So the
course.
first one, Casemiro, no pressure on the ball,
Oh, I'm coming to him.
tried to pass it into midfield. I think it's Kobe, and Kobe wasn't even looking, wasn't ready to receive the ball.
Yeah.
And Liverpool player, it was Gravenberch actually, nicked in front, got the ball, sent it out to Salah, who crossed it in for Diaz to score. And then the second one was Kobe.
Got bullied off the ball, yeah. He got bullied off the ball. I felt sorry for him today. So to your point about Casemiro, he had a bad game. He had a woeful game. And then I thought at that point, then Kobe Mainoo is trying to do more than he should be doing.
Yeah.
You know, and we have this ongoing debate in various WhatsApp groups about Kobe Mainoo's apparent lack of mobility and or speed. But I do feel like he's having to do more than he would do with a competent midfield partner. Yeah, with midfield partner and system. No one's really in any of the discourse I've heard talk about Bruno today. You know, his final pass was lacking today. There's a couple of good transitional moments. He's got the ball, doesn't happen. We could talk about a lot of players today. Casemiro get all the headlines because he was absent. He lost the ball so much.
Yeah, so it was him who got tackled for the second goal.
Kobe
for the first. Sorry,
He lost the ball so much, and a lot of what he did led to goals. But there's not many people that can, you know. Ahmad came on and had more touches in 10 minutes in the Liverpool box than any other Man United player had the rest of the game.
Yeah. And this is where I'll say some of the stuff that Erik ten Hag's doing self-inflicted. Because Ahmad has had I'm just saying.
Most?
This is a bit like Groundhog Day, right? I'm kind of having this conversation from like last season, every week.
Yeah.
And I'm just
most
like,
of the things are self-inflicted.
when I saw the lineup, I was like, Diallo on the bench, but his start so far has been decent. You know,
he's been their best winger this season.
So you take him off. Harry Maguire, to be fair, hasn't done much wrong as a starting centre back.
No,
you drop him for but his performance hasn't been woeful. You understand what I'm saying?
But why is that the bar? He
No,
hasn't
but I'm not
played
saying that's
well.
not the bar. But what I'm saying,
And I could point out at least 2 goals that he should have done better with.
What I'm saying, you're doing a lot of tweaking and substitution, pointless substitutions, etc., etc. And this is all self-inflicted. So you're doing all these substitution changes. You was playing the false nine. All right, Mount's been injured. So was you going to play a false nine against Liverpool if Mount was fit?
Yeah.
And what would that be now?
But so let me I can't believe I'm doing this, but let me just to defend Ten Hag a little bit. First 2 games didn't work, right? He was doing, I've never seen a double pivot in front of the midfield, but he was doing false 9 double pivot, yeah? He's changed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone said, why is it Xerxes started? Blah, 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 blah. He starts today, right? He changes it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one thing he addressed. That's the one thing he addressed. And then the way the players have executed have let him down, right? I would say so. You know, so as much as Liverpool played really well, I think Man United helped them. And also, when it was time to be critical, when people made mistakes, that's the difference. When you have a Mo Salah, when you have a Diaz on the form he's in, Jota didn't even really turn up today. Yeah. And they still dealt with Man United 3-0. So imagine if there was a couple of chances in the box, he fumbled a bit. He was trying a bit too hard, it seemed like, to get in on the party. Slobozai did something criminal in the box.
So vexed, man.
Even after a 3-0 win, I hope someone is shouting in his face after that. That was ridiculous.
We had it was 3-0 up, and there was like nice little 1-2s at edge of the box. All got played through to him. All he got to do is just slot it, left foot.
He could have just.
He saw someone slide in, so he tried to cut it back, and then he got tackled, and it went.
The moment's gone.
He tried to chop the player and make it look sexy, bro. He could have just toe punted it in. Bam. Yeah. That's it.
Got in.
4-0. Old Trafford, fantastic, right? But yeah, it was the debate this week. The Casemiro talk this week's going to be bad, and then another thing, the Rashford, right? So I don't want to re-dig up all the Rashford stuff, but I did find it interesting that, you know, towards the end of the game, I'd probably say the last 30 minutes. Would you say last 20 minutes? Mm-hmm. Every time he got the ball, if he didn't go past the fullback, which he rarely does anymore, on the outside anyway.
Yeah.
the crowd will start booing. They start
Wow.
jeering
Yeah.
because they're like, "Why are you going back for? We need goals. We need to be attacking." And then he did a couple of really good crosses, almost as if to say, "What?
Yeah.
But where were you the previous 70 minutes? 78 minutes was absent." So the crowd were really getting on his back. You get the ball out wide. It was doing Nicolas Pepe, bruv.
Yeah.
Get the ball out wide, look to go out, then he turned back, pass the ball back, and then we're really getting onto him. So the fans are fed up, and I just don't think it helps. Ten Hag does all this like, puffy chest out talking in a week or after Man City since I've won the most trophies. You finished 8th last season.
Yeah.
And talk about all the records you've broken, all the negative records you've broken since you've been since Man United. So another bad day at the office in Man United. We talked about this last season. I said they should have got rid of him. All due respect to him. They extended his deal by a year, I believe, so it wasn't a new contract like I thought. Fine. We're getting more of the same now. He's recruited, etc., etc. It's only 3 games in, but we know in this league, if you want to be top 4, this can't carry on for much longer.
No,
3
not
games,
at all.
2 losses, 1 draw. No, 1 win. Sorry.
1 win, yeah.
But like I said, again, this is Groundhog Day. We're not seeing any signs of a structure, a system, a pattern of play, nothing. So
How
you're
many
like,
games has Arne Slot been in charge?
This is his 3rd
We
competitive
can
game.
already see
Yeah.
what he's trying. It's not even. And Liverpool, they weren't even incisive. The passing wasn't great. They were making mistakes too.
Yeah.
But we've already kind of seen
You can
how he wants
see-
to do things a little bit different to Klopp. I don't think it's as revolutionary as people have been going on.
No, not at all.
But you can already see what he wants to do different. Ten Hag been there 2.5 years.
600 million in the hole.
and still,
And you're still like, whoa, what do you do? What's your style of
bad.
play? And that
So-
shouldn't be a question.
At the risk of sounding dramatic here, how long before Van Nistelrooy is in charge?
well, I was just about to say that's the murmurs, right? Van Nistelrooy's taking training. Van Nistelrooy's having little one-to-one discussions with players.
How long before Dan Ashworth gets a knock on his door and he's like, "We had a deal." What's going on?
Yeah, I think it depends on their league position come November, December.
I
I
agree.
think if they're not in the top 6, them times, then you've got to be like, yeah, we need to make a decision now.
But they've spent
Yeah.
money. It's not like, oh, he's working on crumbs. Or they've spent money.
But even if you spend money, it don't work. You got to pull the plug.
Yeah, no,
And I don't know if they spend the right money. I mean,
we'll go into that.
no, actually, let me be fair. Because Ugarte is going to turn up. He's going to replace Casemiro, surely.
But does it fix the issue right now, which is still a system? You're saying a player, but what we're seeing each week is there's still not a right system that gets the best out of your squad.
Yeah.
Well, so this week, he changed the system to something that seemed to have a bit more logic to it, right?
Mhm.
Today wasn't just a system thing. That was just people weren't playing well enough.
Yeah.
They weren't
Yeah.
executing enough.
And he
Because
can't do much about that.
Nah,
can he?
you can't
Like,
control that.
Yeah, well, to a limit, because he's allowed things to fester, right? So the passes Casemiro trying to make, where he's receiving the ball, where people are positioned when he's got the ball and who's going to give it to, that's all. That if he makes the right passes or executes them properly, that bit works, right?
Yeah.
A few times that they did break forward when Manu was the one passing the ball, ball forward, etc. That was working. It's execution. So I think players can change that.
Yeah.
Well, we've even seen that at Arsenal, right? Some of the
Yeah,
stuff
100%.
Arteta was trying to do,
Yeah,
it was there,
go
but then the
back on
players changed it. So yeah, I just don't think. I personally just think he's not shown anything since he's been there that says he should be the one to get any more chances. But everyone will always revert back to Arteta and say, after 2 years, Arteta looked like he should have maybe gone, or other clubs may have fired him. And look where you guys are now. But for me, it's not the same. The nuance is
not.
different.
Yeah.
No, but
And it's the identity in it. Like you say, you've been like a harder supporter of Arteta and saying you knew early that his style was
He
a
didn't, man.
particular type.
You didn't know.
don't do that.
His style was a particular type, and he just needed the right players
Yeah.
or the time to get it, and it's come to fruition. Where, as you said, you can't see that with
No.
Ten Hag.
No.
Like no matter who comes in, you can't say they're going to elevate the team to the level where United should be in
No.
inverted commas.
Well, I think people are not laying down markers, but they're starting to draw some lines in the sand. Luis Diaz, again, don't want to make anything too grand as a statement, but over the years, good player, got all the right attributes, but is he clinical enough? Is he enough of a killer? He goes to Old Trafford and he scores 2 good goals. Does he look like he's starting to, does he look like he's starting to become that player who can be as effective on the other side as Mo Salah is on the right side, right? So you can rely on him more. There's more balance in terms of output.
Yeah. 4 in 3. Like you can't knock it. And like you say, that's been the criticism. I've always said he just needs to give more. Like you've seen the flashes where now it seems like he's doing less jinky-majinky and he's just being in the right places. And I'd rather that. Like
100%.
It's all well and good looking flashy, but if your output's not there, I don't really care, to be honest. But now he's in the right positions, right places, and he's being clinical. So I wouldn't have expected him to score 4 goals in the first 3 games, but he has. Hopefully after international break, he can continue to do that. And we've kind of had the luxury of playing essentially the same team for the first 3 games. Like the only change has been Quansah. And I couldn't tell you the last time Klopp played the same team back-to-back in the Premiership. So that's good. But after the international break, with all the games that are going to be played, Europe, etc., it's going to be interesting to see how the dynamic, if it changes, the personnel that come in, whether they can step up, etc. Hopefully they will, because like we've got quality in the squad, innit? So
you're hopeful.
Yeah, like we said
Optimistic.
like 3 episodes ago, like, do I think that we're in a title race? And when I said yes, you guys were like,
No, I didn't say you couldn't do it. I just said that was high expectations for him in his first season.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think based on the first 3 games, I don't see why I should retract that, to be honest.
I'll give you a couple of reasons. But before we move on, it seems as though Mo Salah announced that he's not signing any contracts.
So it wasn't as clear cut as that. So
that's what you said, though.
You did say
okay, I did say that. I'm going to give you more. I'm going to give you more context.
I saw the interview as well.
So basically, in the interview, he said, "I'm going to enjoy my last season here," and then he went on to say that I haven't had an offer from the club.
Why are you doing this, bruv?
So what I've taken from that is, because he hasn't been offered a contract, he's got it in his mind that he might be leaving. But if he gets offered a contract that he finds acceptable, he's going to sign. So I don't think it's set in stone what he's going to do either way. But I think he was just being honest in the conversation, basically.
I think when I saw the interview, I just felt it was more like, just come make me an offer.
Yeah.
And let's just and just get it over and done. It was this is my last season, I'm going to leave. Because, well, this may be my last season because I haven't been offered a contract.
Yeah, he did backtrack a bit.
He backtracked and so I felt it was just more of a, guys.
More of a signal.
Yeah, signal like, look, I'm happy here. Just give me a 3 years.
I always find Mo Salah interviews interesting because he leaves at the pleasantries. I remember someone asked him once something about being nervous, and he was like, "Scored a penalty in the Champions League final. Why would I be nervous?" And I was just like, "Well, all right, calm down, mate, calm down." But should they give him another contract? I don't know. And that means you can't give him the same money. You got to give him a little bump, a little pay rise. Maybe they should just allow it at that point.
I think that, you know why I would say yes? Because he doesn't show any signs of truly slowing down. And how he manages and plays the game, he still looks like he will, even next season, get 20 goals.
But that's the annoying thing about him now, right? Like he's even passing now. That's a step forward, right?
Yeah.
And he's passing well, he's passing the right time. He's influencing the game in different ways. It's really not what I need to see.
Yeah.
Right? So if reality is he probably gets another year out of them, because he can go to Saudi when he's 38 and still make money. He's Mo Salah, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, probably in reality he does another year and it gives them more time to find the replacement.
Yeah, so what I could say is give him a year, but have a succession plan in place, innit?
I don't think a year's enough for him. I don't think he would accept,
You
give him a 2-year, but he leaves after a year, I think, in reality.
Yeah.
That's different.
So I mean,
and we've got Chiesa in, like we'll see how that plans out.
Oh,
it
yeah.
might not be a like for
We're
like.
going to come to that.
But yeah.
Well, I was about to say the succession plan should have already been played, but Chiesa plays on the left though.
He can play
right
right.
across.
Yeah.
I've never seen him do well there, but all right.
But yeah, Old Trafford, 3-0, 3 games, 3 wins, no goals conceded.
I told you guys about Ten Hag. Dan Ashworth, when I have a chat, mate, I'm available. Do you know what I mean? I'm always available for consults. Like, just rip the plaster off. Trust me. Rip the plaster off. Anyway, so after enjoying that, even though I didn't want Liverpool to any more points on the board, I've got enough Man United supporters as friends to enjoy them getting beaten up at Old Trafford. There was a point where Carragher said to Gary Neville, have they fixed the roof yet? Gary Neville had to reply. It was silent on the commentary. You know, in the commentary, for it to be silent, it was silent for about 10, 15 seconds, which is a long time.
Yeah, of course.
And it was like, he just mummed. It wasn't even full volume. He was like, they need to fix the defense first. The pain, even he's at work, he's being professional. The pain in his voice.
Yeah.
I love to hear it. Love to hear it. Talking of pain, Arsenal Brighton. Arsenal drew 1-1 at the Emirates with Brighton in what turned out to be a bit of a controversial game. I didn't see this game live, but from what I saw the highlights and what I heard, it wasn't the free-flowing exhibition of football that everyone expected from Brighton and Arsenal, which is understandable because both managers are going to come and try and stop each other playing. And then Kai Havertz pops up with another goal at 38 minutes. They say we need a striker. We'll see. Which, again, one thought would, just before half-time, settle the nerves, sort of all good. But, again, it was a bit of a up and down first half, it seemed. Then the second half kicks off. And we have the fast that results in Declan Rice's sending off. Now, I'm going to go to Keith first on this one. Let's just get it out of the way. How did you see this incident? Let's just get it out of the way. Go on.
All right, so the only thing the referee got wrong was that the ball wasn't dead.
Ooh, okay, go on.
So, we know that.
I see what you mean. So just to explain it, explain it. Effectively, Brighton win a free kick, sort of near the corner flag. Bit of gamesmanship. Declan Rice is walking away from the player. As every player does, he's throwing the ball probably 2 yards. Yeah, 2 or 3 yards further than he should, where he's going to take it. Everyone does it. But that 2 or 3 yards Declan Rice is walking away means the ball rolls past Declan Rice. And as it rolls past him, he just taps it away from himself. And then the Brighton player goes to make a kicking motion as if to say, well, if you hadn't touched the ball, I would have taken a free kick.
Yeah.
Which is now lends to your point, actually, well, the ball was rolling anyway. The free kick wasn't able to be taken, I guess.
Yeah. So essentially, he wasn't sent off for kicking the ball away. He was sent off for, or given the second yellow for obstructing a restart. And that's just not allowed.
Worse.
And that's not allowed.
Yeah.
But if the ball was dead and that same thing happened, no one could have any questions about what happened.
Yeah.
The grey area is whether the ball was
Still
dead or
moving.
not. And I think
Before
looking
was
at
it?
several replays, the ball
wasn't dead, and he rolled it forward.
Yeah,
he didn't kick it forward. He rolled it forward.
The ball was rolling, and the bad thing about VAR in this instance is that because it's a second yellow, you can't go back, and this goes to the argument whether if you use VAR, you either check everything and not something in it. Like it should be one or the other. But I can understand why Arsenal fans are aggrieved. So they shouldn't be aggrieved about him potentially getting a second yellow card because he tried to obstruct the ball, because that's not allowed to do. And we've seen it where a free kick's been given, a player's kicked the ball against like a player that's standing a couple yards in front of them, and the player standing there has been given the yellow card. Like it's no different.
Yeah.
So even if he had just stood there rather than kicking the ball away, he would have got the yellow card kind of thing. So it wasn't for kicking the ball away.
Yeah.
It was for obstructing the restart. But
the ball didn't even hit him. The ball just went past him.
Yeah.
But kicking the ball away is the obstruction. It must be. Otherwise, the ball didn't hit him.
Yeah.
And he didn't stop the guy taking the free kick.
No, but he done the action, innit?
and he
So
didn't
if
stop
you've
the
done
guy
the
from
action,
taking a free
you're doing your
No,
taking
but
the
That's
free
why,
kick.
that's why I thought the yellow card was for kicking the ball away, because if he doesn't kick the ball away,
No, it's for delaying the restart. That was the yellow. That was the yellow.
so then
card.
you'd have been getting the yellow card for not walking away fast enough. Essentially.
I don't think he would have got it for that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
gone.
I say all the referees have come out and said they were told the rules at the start of the season, etc. But then it goes back to what I think we might have said before. It's like referee's discretion, isn't it?
Exactly.
And then also, as everyone knows, in the first half, Pedro kicked it
Yep.
when he heard the whistle and he kicked it like 30 yards.
Yep.
So then
Nothing happened.
this is what lets him down. You got to be consistent. You can't say, all right, it's in this place the first 10 minutes of the game, so I'm going to let that one slide. But because this is in the 50th minute now, I'm going to give you. He set himself up, and that is what everyone's upset about. That's what even the neutrals are upset about. They're saying, well,
Yeah. It's the
this is
consistency.
inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like, if you're consistent, then everyone's got to say, well, you gave him a yellow for that, then fair enough. But that's not the case. So, but I think with the Arsenal game, though, again, like you was highlighting, John, there's some aspects of that where the game weren't going to be as plain sailing as some hoped it would be. Brighton started off quite well this season. They've shown signs of actually a good system, patterns of play, actually how wide their wingers are playing. Like, it's really interesting. People look at Milner's still in there, but he's got a system that it works with Milner in there, even though you think everyone will be ghosting past him. And some fans, this divine right that we're going to win every game 2-0 and of total control of the game is not realistic. The guy's been brought in for a reason, and he's showing it so far.
I mean, I didn't think there was a way to be more annoying than Arteta and Klopp on the sideline. But the Brighton manager's giving it a good go. He is annoying.
Yeah, he's active, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, last season apparently he got 6 or 7 yellow cards for just
protesting,
for dissent and stuff on the sideline. That's a lot for a manager in one season, 6 or 7.
Yeah, some don't even get that in a career.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right. I think if anyone thought there was going to be any drop off from De Zerbi, I mean, we'll see, right? It's early days, but yeah, he's come in. He's got them playing a certain style, and I heard someone make the point on the weekend. It's true because of the way they've recruited as well. He can just reinforce that style 60, 65, 70 minutes in the game.
Yeah.
Adringa's on the bench and he's just got attacking players on the bench that are ready to come on and are, have the same kind of effect as the people who are starting.
Yeah.
So when it's time for him to rotate, he's going to be all right up front. Whether he's got out of defence, because again, I'd criticise Dunk for Arsenal's goal.
Yeah.
And he made a couple of mistakes when it came to heading the ball away and winning those duels in the air. Whether he's got that luxury in defence is another matter. But you're right, he's come in and he's made an impact relatively quickly.
And I think there was another thing you touched on was Kai Havertz as well. He had a good game overall. And that finish, Kai
Havertz,
very good.
Kai Havertz, August 2023. He's probably not doing that.
Yeah, I think it's a confidence thing.
Yeah,
like
100%.
I think he had the bit of pressure with the price tag moving to Arsenal, and obviously like his first few games didn't go well. But like you can see towards the back end of last season, the confidence picked up over the Euros. Confidence picked up this season. He just like, give me the ball.
Yeah.
I'll put it in there, and that's what you want. Like you want the confidence.
But then he misses a chance that would have won the game.
Then he ran through.
Yeah. But again, no complaints in that respect. And there is a little bit of criticism of Declan Rice, a little bit as in you just have to not
manage it. You got to manage it.
Yeah, you just have to not give refs the option. And look, I said it before and I'll say it again. Referees in this country, they're poor.
Yeah.
Referees in this league are poor. For the league that's meant to be the best league in the world, etc., they are poor, and they're kind of this protected species where no one's allowed to criticize them. We don't have any transparency of how they are reprimanded or assessed, or if you have a bad game, what's his name? Howard Webb comes on a sharp suit on Monday Night Football every once in a while and speaks eloquently and then disappears. I think, something seriously needs to be done about the way refereeing is, how the standard is assessed, how transparent it is to people. So I think people feel like it's just unfair. If a manager's not doing well, we all know what happens. They get criticised. Well, we just spent however long talking about Ten Hag, right?
Yeah.
Player doesn't do well, he misses the game or whatever. But with referees, it's just leave them alone.
They do
It's
get
a hard job.
like a drop, don't they? They get dropped to Championship for a couple.
Apparently,
of games
that's not a real thing. Apparently, that's just scheduling. Apparently,
well, so it looks like they get dropped sometimes to a Championship game or whatever it may be. But there needs to be some sort of kind of retraining, something around the guidance or using common sense, should I say?
So what they have done, I don't know if you've seen. So they've created a Twitter account called Premier League Match Center, and basically it's the operational hub for all Premier League matches. This account provides information directly from Match Center, the VAR hub, and PGMOL experts. So whenever something happens in a game, that
An
might be
explanation is
controversial.
provided.
Yeah, but they give us fair, but all they're doing is making sure that their side of the story gets heard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So after the pundits and everyone else, so they're saying, right, we're going to do that. But what it doesn't say to us, or what we can't track over time, is
how do you
the referees were exactly. Referees were at this level last year, and this year they're at this level. Or over the last 5 years, we've done this to improve referee decisions. We've looked back and a number of decisions that we have assessed to be wrong or incorrect has reduced, or whatever. We don't get any of that.
But I think that's because no one has publicly asked for that yet. Like it's very good what you're saying, but what people have said initially is, why have you come to that reasoning? So what they've done now, they've appeased people for the first question by releasing this Twitter account.
Yeah.
Whether it's like a yellow card, red card, what happens, they say, this happened because of X, Y, Z. And that's what people have asked for. So it's like, okay, well.
But that goes back to my point. I mean, but it's such an important part of the game. How the web, whoever else is running it, it needs to not be reactive and start thinking a bit more proactively and think, okay. And they don't get me wrong, they have a structure, right? We've spoken to Daz about it before. I guess my point is, one, does it work? And two, it's not that transparent. So yeah, you get assessors in every game. What's he assessing? What does he write down?
Yeah.
How do they use it? Because to fans, refereeing is as rubbish as it's ever been.
Yeah.
Yep. And VAR's only highlighted that even more.
Exactly.
Because before you'd be like, you got it wrong.
Yeah,
That's
human
right.
mistake, human error.
Kind of. Now we're seeing so many replays of it, etc. So yeah.
Exactly. So
I thought you guys played well though. Like Brighton were in the game until you scored.
Yeah.
And like obviously you weren't in the lead for that much, kind of up to half time, and then after the red card they scored quite soon after. But I think if it's 11v11, I think you see out the game. Like
Well, Thomas Partey decides not to do his
mate,
running.
he had a stinker.
Yeah.
I was shocked like how bad he was.
And the thing that kills me about him is, right, he can play at a level relatively consistently, but when it dips, it dips badly. Like some people, it dips a bit like, now when it dips really, really, really badly. And that might be a function of him, but also the way the system is, it can't afford for you to be that wasteful or be that absent, right? So yeah, it was just crazy. The way Ja Pedro it was like he wasn't there. There was no one there. So yeah, I agree with you, but they were getting in the game. Brighton were getting in the game. They were getting the rhythm back. And then you have things now compound. So the effect of that now is drop 2 points. So around the same time of the season last year, we dropped 2 points against Fulham, right? Declan Rice is now not available for North London derby, which with the investments we've made, etc., should be less of a problem. But then Marino goes and gets injured on Friday. But everyone's got something,
account
right?
for that.
Everyone's got something, but yeah, he'll be back for the City game. For me, that's the more important game. Sorry, Spurs fans, but our season's not going to hinge whether we beat you whether we beat you or not in September. As much as you like to think you're important, so that's good. But yeah, at least we didn't lose. It's 3 points. Man City something will happen at some point.
Oh yeah, it's early days.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and this is what I'm saying. Like this insane level of like I was talking about fans having this kind of feeling or divine right entitlement to winning everything, and we got to get maximum points to keep up with City. It's a long season. There's still 35 games to go. Like City's gonna make a mistake. City's gonna lose a game. City's either gonna draw a game. We can't. They're not gonna be undefeated for the entire season and win every single game. So I think there's a lot. I think we're going to the transfers, but just wanted to highlight it was unfortunate for Trossard, right? That the guy dropped. But I know he wasn't in the flow of the game. He wasn't, and this is what I was kind of highlighting: the frustration or the challenge that Arteta has with him and Martinelli. One's physically always running at the fullback, but doesn't make great decisions. But the other one doesn't have the physicality to kind of repeat what Martinelli does, which is, but he makes better decisions, and sometimes
he executes them better, well, more consistently.
So sometimes him as a sub now, he sees the gaps and he's like, all right, this is what I'm going to do when I come on for the half an hour. But it was one of those things, the game didn't go our way. We couldn't see him kind of manage his game until the 90th minute or the 70th minute because we had to make the substitution, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And he was the one that was sacrificed in that situation. So, but we had chances to win. Even though Kai didn't score his chance, he also set up a chance for Saka, and it was just a little bit too far forward for Saka to get onto it, to get a real connection with that ball. But there's still positives. We didn't lose, and we still went for it with the 10 men.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree. So moving on to match I'm happy to report the score on. Newcastle United 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. And they couldn't even score the goal themselves. Did either of you watch this game?
Yeah, I watched it. Newcastle took the lead kind of against the run of play. Like if you see Eddie Howe's post-match interview, he was like, it's all about getting the 3 points when you don't play well.
Yeah.
And Newcastle didn't play particularly well.
Spurs had 20 shots.
Yeah, Tottenham gets very, very wasteful with the ball. Like I think the kid they got out wide, they got from Burnley, Odebert.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good player. Son does what he does. Who else? Who else started up front with them?
Yeah, Kulusevski, Odebert, and Son.
Yes,
And
Kulusevski
then Maddison
was playing in the front three because we said last week he played in the middle three, which was a bit surprising.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Maddison was in the game, but not being as creative as what we're used to and what he can do. So yeah, they went behind to I think it was Barnes. Yeah,
Harvey Barnes.
Yeah, it was a really good goal as well, actually. And then, Pope.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know what he's doing, man. Like I can't remember whose shot it was that he attempted to save, but he just kind of parried it out to Son, I believe it was. Son tried to do like a first time shot. Pope's kind of off balance and just kind of palmed it into the air and it's kind of going into the goal. And then Burns tried to clear it, but he just ended up booting it
and roofing it to the net.
into the roof of the net. And you think, right, Spurs, okay, good for the draw. They might go on and get the win. Because like I say, they've been putting the pressure on. But Newcastle hit them. And it's that good in my fantasy team. Zoop, zoop. got the winner. And I think Spurs.
Murphy ran through, didn't he? He just ran through and just squared it.
Yeah.
He likes scoring against them, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Spurs, 4 points out of 9? Granted, they played 2 away games, but they should have been out of sight against Leicester in their first game.
Yep.
They smoked Everton last week. Everton were poor, and we'll come on to them in a bit. But yeah, they just like, today was a bit reminiscent of the Leicester game where they're just not clinical. And in those away games where you're getting that many chances, you've got to put the ball in the back.
But I don't think they are going to be clinical because when you look at their wide players or their attacking players, they're just not the level that's required, to take them to the next stage to be in the top 4 battle, like a real top 4 battle.
Solanke was meant to do that, but he's injured, right?
Yeah.
So that finishing quality, that kind of
Right, then who's on the right, who's on the left, like
Johnson
Kulusevski
hasn't really worked out. And they paid a lot of money for him as well.
Didn't they pay like 50 million for him?
Yeah. And then Kulusevski,
Forest played the blind.
I'm sure he's got only about, maybe 50. Check for me, please. But how many goals he's got? I think he's only mostly got about 15 goals for Tottenham since he's been there all together.
The whole time?
I don't think he's got a lot.
Not possible.
Yeah.
What?
I don't think it's that much though.
Yeah, it's weird. So like they brought Odebert in, they brought Solanke in, they got the Werner deal done pretty early. But it's like
none of them are.
Yeah, so I said Werner is a good squad player for them. Like if you need him to come off the bench and like he played in the Prem, fair enough. Like Solanke's the one you want to be the guy to score the goals, isn't it? How many has he got?
15 goals in 98 appearances.
Told you.
Yeah, like Prem or across Tottenham?
Everything.
Oh, yeah.
Told you.
Yeah. So they're missing something. And like Van der Ven didn't start today. So he's a big miss for them.
Yeah,
so he's a good player.
What happened? Did he pull a muscle from that run?
Maybe. I don't know what his injury was.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Spurs, 2 wins and a loss, I believe it is for them. So
No, draw, a win and a loss.
Yeah, draw, win and loss.
No, sorry, Newcastle. Sorry, I meant to
sorry.
say. Yeah, Newcastle. 2 wins and a draw. They haven't lost yet. So they're quietly. I've not heard much talk about. They're just quietly getting on with it. And I think the game that I've probably been a bit critical of. Again, another season, Joe Linton, etc. But they're just motoring again. It's only the third game, but you just buy yourself some credit in the bank. I think I say every year, you buy yourself some credit in the bank. Don't dig yourself a hole in August, September. Because when things start getting tricky, like late November, early December, going into the Christmas break, you're picking up injuries, there's lots of games. You need that credit in the bank.
Definitely. And I think with Newcastle, they've got a bit of experience now, haven't they? In the sense of they got into the top 4. They didn't have a great season last season per se, but they grounded out some results and got themselves up the table when they had a lot of injuries. So they got a bit of know-how now.
Yeah, and Tonali's back as well from his ban.
So,
yes, it's like having a new signing.
As they say.
As they say.
So yeah, I think after international break, like he started in the League Cup midweek, came on as a sub today, but I think he'll be back. And then like him, Joe Linton and Bruno, it's not a bad.
I can't even remember what kind of player is he. Like whose place does he take? He takes Joe Linton's place. Whose place?
No, they played Longstaff today. So
Longstaff.
Longstaff drop out.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then
Sorry.
don't do that.
No disrespect.
And then they got Lewis Miley.
I'm not even. But that's why they bought him in the first place. That's what I'm saying.
This is it.
So
So
they got Lewis Miley. They got the other centre back to come back, Fabian Shaw.
yeah, Shaw.
Oh yeah.
and Botman as well
Yeah, so that
because they're both injured.
But he needs to buy a striker.
Definitely.
I think then he might even need to January business
Yeah.
because
It's like-
Wilson's injury record, bruv.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not getting him for the majority of the season, and he's at an age now where it's easy for me to say, but he's at an age now where you could argue that maybe his recovery from said injuries or how often they're going to happen is not going to get any less, right? So I think they might even have to do a January shot because Isak's injury record, it's not terrible as it seems, but again, so if he gets injured now, what do you do?
Yeah, and he's not really a classic 9 as well. Like I know he can play through the middle,
Yeah,
but
was it
you had,
9.5?
Huh?
Yeah, 9.5.
9.5. Yeah, if you had like a striker, maybe push him out wide. So you got him and Gordon either side with a dedicated striker.
Yeah.
And then you bring people like Barnes off the bench and Amron's still there as well. So
Yeah, he needs to move on as well. So yeah, Newcastle Spurs. And then we move on to Everton Bournemouth. Everton 2, Bournemouth 3. I mean, the headline here is as of the 86th minute, Everton were winning 2-0. And as of the 96th minute, they were losing 3-2.
it's their time, man. It's their time.
It's not.
It's their time. The trapdoor.
No, we say this every year,
It's
bruv.
not. I was thinking
You can't flirt so many times.
No,
so
but
often.
the 3 below them are so bad that they can.
You can.
They can.
And this is Sean Dyche, bruv. They can.
But they conceded 6 goals in 2 home games.
And I hear you.
And we say it, but who are they? There's no one to come in to make them better.
Oh, so there's no one that's better than Sean Dyche.
There's
No,
loads
I'm
of
talking about player wise. So for him, I'm talking about for
sorry.
him to turn it around.
Sorry, Sean.
Like this is the best they got, and their best is not very good.
I mean, Coleman started,
And he was skipper.
brother.
There you go.
And if Coleman, if
Still
Ashley
getting-
Young isn't suspended, Ashley Young starts.
So what? That's 236
And then how much
plus
is,
right backs.
Yeah.
Gay? I think he's what, 31?
Mate.
Just Gay, he's about what, 31? 30?
Like Coleman, Tarkowski and Keane. Like,
Yeah, but
Nikolenko,
Adrian
they-
and I were saying that like they're dependable Premiership players
Mm.
who just having a squad. They're
Yes.
not people that should be
every
You're-
week.
every
Yeah,
week.
starters.
You're depending on them to get you out the mire. So it's not even get you out the mire. They shouldn't be starting for you to be your base level, but for them to now have to try and get you out of the mire, it's even worse. Like their squad, their 11 is not very good, and they're gonna struggle.
Well, so to be fair, Brantwaite was out, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wasn't playing. And I think with the new stadium coming, maybe finances were tight. Could have made certain signings. I don't know. I don't know if they go down. I'll be honest. I don't know if they go down.
I just think I'm with you. I just don't think Everton, Ipswich, or Leicester have enough.
Everton.
I mean, Leicester,
Ipswich, Southampton.
Sorry.
So I think Southampton are going down. I think Ipswich possibly. I wouldn't be surprised again if Leicester surprised us. But if someone that keeps them at a set level and gets a January transfer window, you're gonna see them do business again. Whether it's loans, whether it's this, whether it's that. So,
but they haven't even got the real. So I know they're trying to sort out the ownership stuff.
Yeah.
If that's not sorted out by January, they haven't really got the finances to. Because remember back in the day, you never had to pay for a loan. You'd be like, oh yeah, let's have him. We'll pay his wages, and it's all good. Where now, like how much did Chelsea pay for Felix like 2 seasons ago? They paid like 6 million for like a 6-month loan.
Yeah, that's mad.
So you've got to have money somewhere, even just to get like players in on a short term, and that's like 5 months.
Got old squad, you know.
But if we take it away from Everton and talk about Bournemouth, like I don't even know what has to click to. My immediate thing when I see this, I'm a bit strangers. So what were you doing for the previous 86 minutes?
They were doing nothing. I don't think they had a shot on target until they scored their first goal. And then they scored with their only 2 other shots on target.
Absolutely madness.
But I guess it shows that not even just the Premiership, in football in general, like if you keep on putting effort in and put pressure on teams, you never know.
Or they're just so scared of the manager.
What can happen?
Like no one wanted to go in on that kind of performance.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You got to keep going to it. And we've seen it a couple of times. Do you remember that game? It's going back a while now. I think we had a bet on it or something. Bournemouth, I think it was Bournemouth Everton or it was Bournemouth for someone. And the same thing happened again. It was like 3-0, the other team was winning. Get to 3-1 and I'm like, boys, let's cash out. Nah, it's cool, man. You're not coming back. Then 86 minutes, 3-2. I'm like, that's
need to cash out.
I cashed out at Inter the minute.
Yeah.
Bournemouth scored 3-3. Or it was the other way around. Bournemouth were winning and it just reminded me like these guys are always in the mire. Maybe was Barkley down there at them time? Anyway. But look, it's again, it's only the 3rd game, blah blah blah. But that is a serious throwing away of a game. 87 minutes, you can't see a game out. Even with the injury time as it is these days. I mean, it was 9 minutes.
Yeah, decision making.
You've done all the hard work.
Yeah.
You've lost 2 games. You've conceded 7 goals in 2 games. You work hard, you're 2-0 up. And they just throw it away. I'm not seeing the goals. Were any of them of like superior quality or anything crazy?
They were all crosses.
All crosses.
From the left or the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so you got the Twin Towers in there, Tarkowski and Keane and all of this.
Yeah.
And you're conceding 3 goals from crosses in what? 10 minutes.
Yeah. And the Everton goals were quite good, like to go 2-0 up. Like Keane, I think it came from a corner, ball broke to him, kind of drilled it in.
Chested it down.
Then Calvert-Lewin chested it down, ran onto it, got it there before the keeper, slotted it in. I think 2-0 up, 86 minute, everyone's gonna get their first win. But yeah, I think they got Villa next away, so that's peak. And then they got Leicester, I think it is, and that's gonna be. I want Nana
to score to celebrate when he scores against him.
Yeah.
So I don't think Everton going down. No. Bournemouth again. I think they have another decent season, mid-table. It's just progression for that coach, right? It's progression. His way of playing. Then hopefully can get some investment because they got the American on it, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, who put money in them? The actor. Michael B. Jordan.
Yes. Even there's one of their kits or something and all that business.
But yeah, Bournemouth ain't lost a game yet either, so a win and 2 draws.
Yeah, it's got to unravel soon, but as you said, international break, a few people could take a breather. Some people are probably happy they're going on international break because Sean Dyche was probably going to kill them for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, we'll move on to the machine. Erling Haaland, Manchester City. Well, West Ham 1, Manchester City 3. 2 hat-tricks in 2 weekends for Erling Haaland. What's the point? Why do we bother?
Meant to win it.
Well,
but the scoreline flatters Manchester City a little bit. Like West Ham were in the game and...
Bro, did you see Haaland's first finish?
I thought the second one was
The one where he
second
roofed in
one.
the net. The
Yeah,
belter.
that was the second
second
one.
one,
Yeah,
that's the
that was
second
the
one,
second.
That was the second one.
Yeah. So like they go 1-0 up,
Mm.
good finish, and you're like, Man City.
Yeah.
So, but West Ham, we're in the game, and Bowen, like you lot say, I don't like Bowen. He drove into the box, done really well, got the own goal off Diaz.
Could
And
just
then-
hit the crossbar post.
No, so it was 2-1.
Yeah.
So Haaland scored the ripper, and then the counter attack was good.
Yeah.
Like you see, Paqueta done a little turn in his box,
Yeah.
sprayed it out. Kudos done his turn, played a little 1-2, and it's like I know he hit. You know when you hit a ball too well.
Yeah.
Like if he didn't hit it as clean as what he wanted to, I think it goes in the roof of the
Yeah.
net, and then it could potentially a different game at 2-2.
Yeah.
And even after then, it still took Manchester City a while to get the third goal. Like it wasn't really a controlled performance from Man City. It's just one of those games where they've done enough to get over the line.
Just to rewind to the start of the point you made.
Yeah.
He said the scoreline doesn't reflect how the game went.
Mm-hmm.
How many shots do you think West Ham had compared to Manchester City?
What? All together?
Mm.
On target, off target?
No, just all
So I'm
game.
just adding that in. 8?
West Ham had 10 shots.
Okay.
Manchester City had 23. West Ham had 2 shots on target. Manchester City had 8.
Yeah, but that doesn't
But
mean
They had 4
yeah.
times the shots on target.
No, but if you watch the game, it wasn't like
Don't
them
give me
getting-
all that.
come on.
Eye test.
Every
Eye test.
shot on target is not like a
A powerful shot or
Header from a corner.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
32% possession.
yeah, but it goes back to like Adrian's point earlier. Like, there's going to be games where Man City are not on the level, and some teams are going to be able to capitalize on them. It didn't
11
happen yesterday.
corners.
It didn't happen yesterday,
Mm.
but if you look back on Man City yesterday, you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, we're
This was
worried about that.
classic.
Like it was just the machine was efficient in it. Like
You're lucky I'm
All-
not an expected goals merchant. Because that would have
I
killed
get
you
it.
off.
XG is the worst out
That
there.
would've
We're not
killed
going
you
there.
Ever, and it
Yeah,
is.
I hate it.
So-
but yeah, they done the job, man.
So
Can I just? No, I'm playing. I was going to say something silly. I was going to say my boy James Ward-Prowse weren't there. He would have averted this result.
nah, listen, you're gonna have to let that one go. You know? He's let you down.
He hasn't let me.
No,
down.
he's let you down
They
still.
just don't see.
No, you've been.
No,
you've-
like we'll get onto it, but the managers don't fancy him, innit? Like he had a good season last year. I thought.
Yeah, well, I think
so why did any
12
other manager
GAs?
apart from the newly promoted one fancy him?
No, but that's his level. Like West Ham was his technical highest level he could go to. And I'm being real.
Okay,
I'm not. That's it. West Ham's his highest level.
I think they'll be just fine without him. So Erling Haaland, can we just bury the doubts about him and that? Can we just allow it down?
What was the doubts?
Every once in a while he'll have a quiet game, or he doesn't contribute much to the game, or obviously Roy Keane said what he said, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, like people said he was in Germany, he wasn't gonna do it here, despite the fact that he put up numbers in the Champions League.
Have you seen the numbers for Man City?
He's now come here. What's this? His 3rd season?
Yeah, start with third.
Start of his 3rd season. He's creeping up the Hattrick numbers of Hattrick table at an alarming rate.
Hasn't he got the record already now?
No, but in terms of numbers,
Yeah.
He hasn't got the most.
he hasn't
Like,
got the most,
he's-
but
yeah.
the rate
Yeah.
Yeah.
is alarming. I don't want to hear anything, bro.
Nah.
But what you're gonna hear is like big games. I'm not bothered about that because if you win the big game and if you score or not, like I don't care. Like you've won it. But they're like he hasn't scored in the semi-final or final for Manchester City. All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
But he's won everything pretty
Yeah.
much with them.
How many goals did he score to get them there?
Yeah, and this is it. It's like those the goals in the previous rounds like don't count. And yeah, he has quiet games, but as a pure natural finisher, like he's one of the best like we've seen. Like I think when he scored his 2nd goal yesterday, he only had 7 touches. And he scored 2 goals.
Yeah, but if you're
Like,
if you're not Messi, Cristiano, certain man, who has not had a quiet game?
Yeah.
At some point, I just think the way narratives build, and he doesn't take the ball and run past people and do certain things. I just think he's just too lazy. The numbers are there. We see what he does, and he scores headers, he scores volleys, he scores
Yeah.
tap-ins. he's it, man. He's
And
like
what I was saying to a friend yesterday is that if this was 20 years ago,
Mm.
there would be no doubts about him, just in terms of the profile of player.
yeah.
If you're number 9, your job is to be in the box and score goals.
Yep.
But because we've seen the
Yes.
evolution of Messi and Ronaldo,
And the false 9, ironically by his very manager.
where you've got players who can put up elite numbers, as well as giving you elite performances.
Yeah.
People are like, well, that should be the basis for a footballer going forward. No. Those two are aliens, and we spoke about that.
Yep.
That's not what a pure number 9, what Erling Haaland is.
Yeah.
He's not going to give you those jinky-majinky runs. He's going to be in the box and score, and he's going to be happy. If he touches the ball 3 times and scores twice, he's going home happy. That's it.
I'm interested to see what direction he wants to take his career in, right? Because he's won a Champions League at City, right?
Yeah.
If he's like a real football, like how can I put it? Real football nut or real football fanatic, then the allure of Real Madrid or Barcelona stuff is going to be there. If he's not, he could end up just doing a KDB, staying there and just smashing the league.
Was it like 97 goals or something like that?
Yeah.
In
101 games. Or the other way around. I think it's 101 goals in 97 games. Yeah, he's got more goals than games.
Yeah, I knew it was up,
Yeah, I think it's over. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm interested to see the direction take his career. Like, as a football fan, I'd want him to see, I want to see him go and play for Barcelona or Real Madrid or Juve or someone and then kill that there and do a Champions League there. But the money's right. The money's there. They're going to pay what he needs. He might just stay, become a Premier League legend. And if you got someone like him in your team, you're always going to have a chance to win the Champions League. Because I always thought Kevin De Bruyne would at some point move on from City and go and do one of those teams. But he's won everything he would have won any of those teams anyway. He hasn't got the prestige of maybe a City a Real Madrid or Barcelona on his CV, but he's been there, done that, but he did the Chelsea thing. He might look at things a little bit differently. So I'm interested to see what direction Haaland goes in, what they do next.
Yeah.
Even though he's only been there 3 seasons, but and I also think if Pep leaves, depending on who they bring in, that could be another trigger for people to maybe think, okay, let me do something else.
I think when you look at it, is the allure of Barcelona there, or can Barcelona actually afford him? I
was gonna say the only 2 teams that can afford him now are probably PSG and Real Madrid.
Yeah.
What he will cost you in wages.
And then he might go Bayern.
Oh yeah, fair.
So,
fair.
But then you look at Real Madrid, and right now their front 4. And I'm not saying he can't get. Obviously, he can get into.
But they could have done with.
Obviously, he can get in. But right now they've got.
I'm not gonna name names, but they could have done with him instead of another winger.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, but this is it. So then does the president of Real Madrid go, actually, he's needed, or how do I feel?
He's crazy enough. We've seen him do crazy stuff.
So yeah.
I think after the World Cup, he might make a decision, innit?
26?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. What Pep is still contracted till when? No, this is his last season contract-wise, isn't it?
Yeah, he hasn't extended. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, just to run through the rest of the results then. Chelsea paid out a draw at home to Crystal Palace. Nicholas Jackson and Eze getting the goals there. Maybe this is a season.
His goal was nice.
Does some stuff.
Yeah.
Brentford 3, Southampton 1. Then Mbeumo and Wissa show carries on. Mbeumo with 2 goals there. Wissa with the 3rd.
How was Tony's farewell? I see him in the.
I don't think they done a big. I haven't seen anything, but I know he was in the crowd.
Yeah,
but I don't think he done like a on the pitch kind of
with
wave
the mic
goodbye
and all
kind
that.
of thing.
Yeah. Ipswich 1, Fulham 1. Probably a good point for Ipswich at home. Fulham, you've got to be winning those games, mate. Liam Delap, is that son of Rory?
Yep.
Yeah.
Come from Man City.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Interesting.
Good goal.
Yeah.
Roasted that one in.
Leicester City 1, Aston Villa 2. Aston Villa another win. This premises is gonna be crazy. Onana with another goal.
Yeah.
And Duran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again. Did he start?
No, he
No,
came
he
on
came
for
on.
Watkins.
Obviously.
Yet to score.
Yeah, I know. He's tired, bruv.
Yeah.
He's tired. Forest won, Wolves won. No excitement there. So yeah, that completes all the games for this weekend. I'm gonna look at the table. It's pointless, but I'll look at it anyway. See at the top, 100% record. Liverpool second, 100% record. Then it's Brighton. Then Arsenal make up the top four. I'll go to the bottom. Wolves, Southampton, Everton. At least Wolves have drawn one game. Yeah. Just so everyone knows, Manchester United are 14th as things stand. Just thought I'd let everyone know.
-3 goal difference.
Yeah. Mental. They have the same goal difference as Crystal Palace. So yeah, that's how the table is shaping up. Chelsea are 11th. They're used to that now, I guess. So yeah. Right. Couple of other bits and bobs to talk about. So the transfer window closed on Friday. With its usual shenanigans on the last day. It always amazes me how much stuff gets left to like 10:59 p.m.
Yeah.
Right. But before we go into that, ladies and gentlemen, I present you Keith, who would like to make a case against the transfer window.
Yeah, I just think it brings an unnecessary clamour and panic to the whole of the football environment. So I'm not even sure how long the transfer window's been around, and I should have looked this up, to be fair. But it's like,
I was gonna make a joke about your age there, but we're recording. Let me loud.
Yeah, it just so like before the transfer window came in, you could sign a player at any time throughout the season. And I think that kind of gives you more of an opportunity to kind of assess your needs and what you want. Because obviously, let's take for like a new manager coming in. They've come in the summer, and let's take this summer, for example. There's been an international tournament. Your players have come back from pre-season late. Some people might be injured. You don't know kind of what they can bring to you, etc. If you want to sign someone, you have to do it within a 3-week window. Those players that you sign or potentially, well, essentially you do. What I'm saying is, like, if you had the opportunity to sign a player between August and January, that wouldn't give you the pressure of assessing everyone and being like, right, I need you now, I don't need you now, and casting players out to the under 21s, etc. It just gives you more time to assess your team. And my other gripe is the whole kind of social media, ITK, false rumors, etc. that kind of ramps up every January, every summer, and it's just annoying. I think you should just be able to assign players whenever you want, and it wouldn't change anything. There'll be no.
That only
different
benefits
factors.
the rich clubs.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Only benefits the rich clubs.
How does it benefit the rich clubs?
Because
It's the problem.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
You said earlier that if the Everton ownership isn't sorted by January, they can't do anything anyway, right?
Yeah.
So Marino gets injured on Friday.
Yeah.
We have enough money and have enough resources. We could go and get someone else if it was that bad. Let's say it wasn't just a 2-month injury like it is.
Mhm.
Let's say some madness. Look at Bournemouth, the guy they bought to Brentford, the guy that they bought to replace Tony. ACL or something. He's out for 6 months or something mad, right? Brentford had now got to deal with that. If that was Arsenal or someone, in November, that happens in November or December, they could just go buy someone. They could just get someone. That was what was happening before.
Yeah.
Alex Ferguson had the problem. He just goes and rips
but
up
even,
the
but,
British
even for
transfer
the,
record.
but even for the smaller players, like it works, it benefits everyone because, okay, you say, right, this player's going to be out for 5 months.
Yeah.
If I can get someone in on a 3-month loan to cover that, why can't I do that? Like it doesn't just benefit the...
Why am I giving you a 3-month loan at that point?
Because you're saying, like, if someone's injured and you need cover within that window, a bigger team can go out and buy a £50 million player.
And go and buy something from a smaller team.
But a smaller team can be like, right, well, I know he's going to be out for 4 or 5 months. I only need someone in for 3 months. Why can't I go and get that loan? Like, it benefits everyone.
No, I'm not sure. I think that over the balance of a season, right, if those with more resources, because it's bad enough now.
Yeah.
If those with more resources, and it's not just money, right? It's like, when I say resources, I mean the whole thing. analysis,
Yeah.
scouting, all of that. I can't imagine going back to not having a transfer window now, and Man City, Liverpool to a certain extent because they buy well, Arsenal, Chelsea
Just fix their problem.
can just buy anybody
Fix the
at
problems.
any point during the season. Nah.
No, but I think ultimately you're still going to get a lot of teams who want to get their stuff sorted out by the start of the
and
start of
we
the
saw
season.
that when we didn't have a transfer window. We did see that. I agree.
Yeah, there weren't like loads and loads of transfers like mid season.
Mm.
And I just think it will make the football transfer world a lot more peaceful if we got rid of the transfer window.
So Biz, but I think the one thing I've seen in this transfer window, I've just seen poor planning. I'll be honest. When did you not decide you didn't want Raheem Sterling? When did you decide you don't want Chilwell?
Yeah.
Right? Maresca's been appointed, he's been doing
Pre-season.
he's been doing what he's doing since May, right?
Mm.
Those conversations, all of those plans could have been put in then. These are players that didn't even go to the Euros, right? We can see lots of examples, right, of teams where it was poor planning or they're using the window to their advantage. I think a lot of that issue can be addressed. Even before the window, we saw players getting signed at tournaments.
Yeah.
Or you're not getting signed at a tournament. You know why? Because I'm not sure if you're going to get injured.
Yeah.
Right? So I think a lot of that is poor planning. I hear
But don't you see the
you.
advantage to players as well. So like you go back to Friday 5:00.
Yeah.
Sterling didn't really know what he was gonna do. If you had no transfer window,
Yeah.
he's been told by Maresca he's not in his plans.
Yeah.
He knows I don't have to get something done by 11 p.m. tonight. I can still speak to teams
Mhm.
and get I know I will leave at some point. Like, why does it have to be like?
Yeah, so in that specific
Like
situation,
it helps the players and it helps clubs. Like,
I don't know, because the house plays the other way as well. Once the transfer window closed, you're not selling me, bro.
Yeah.
You're not having
yeah,
another
but
chance.
you can be stubborn anyway. Like,
No, but
Whether
as in,
transfer
not
window or
but
not.
like Raheem said, but let's say you're someone that maybe is on the fringes or whatever. Now the window's closed.
You got to use me.
I ain't being sold. A man gets, God forbid, but a man gets injured next week. That's it. I'm in. It goes both ways.
And I was about to say that the other side of it, the pro of the transfer window is Lewis Miley for Newcastle. If all the injuries they had, would we have seen him? Would we be respected him as a potential future Premier player? So.
yeah, like I'm not saying like the transfer window is like heinous in everything that's around
Yeah.
it. Like there are pros and
You
cons.
kinda made it seem like
Pros
that.
and cons to it.
Mm.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
I used to like just knowing that you could go anytime and buy someone, but now actually you get to see the manager having to use their squad sometimes because
Yeah.
they can't just go out and say, "All right, I need to get a short-term loan to just rectify and fix this problem." Now it's like, well, actually, who have I got? Oh, let me give Havertz.
Where the youth players?
Where the youth players?
Yeah.
And that's what it like. Would you have seen Conor Bradley?
Maybe because
No, them not frugal. You would have.
yeah, like we don't buy it.
Can we
No,
go-
but I understand that point, but I just think it just takes the whole pressure of you
Trying
have to
make
get
it.
things done
I don't think it's any
within a certain
but-
window.
When did the window open?
2002. Well,
No, but when did it? What?
Oh,
End of
June.
July.
yeah.
Yeah, it's July 1st, isn't it?
Yeah.
The window opens, yeah.
You got so much time.
You got a lot. And the other thing I would say is I don't think the pressure is real. We think there's pressure because of the whole circus. And I agree with you. I hate the circus. I hate what Sky Sports News have made it. And it is them. They're the main culprits.
Yeah,
I hate what Sky, what's his name? Jim White? Jim Brown? What's his name?
Jim White. Yeah.
Jim White literally
Yellow tie.
became I wouldn't say celebrity, but became infamous for
Yeah.
it and the shenanigans. And it's drawn up some funny moments. Or then when he turning up at the club and they wouldn't let him in. Harry Redknapp out the window, rubbish. But they've made it a circus. They've made it seem like there's pressure. Bro, a lot of the stuff, people know what's going on.
Yeah.
People know what's happening. We'll hear about stuff announced on Friday. That deal was done Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Or they've agreed weeks before, and there's just it's a bit like buying houses. There's a bit of a chain.
Yeah.
Where actually,
Red tape,
we'll
all
sort
that.
it out. We've agreed personal terms, blah, blah, blah. But I need him to leave because he's meant to be on the way out, blah, blah, all that stuff. So I have to remember the reality of it. Yes, I agree. There are pressure situations like the Sterling deal. But again, how often does that happen realistically? That Sterling one is a real combination of stuff. If Maresca had come with his tough chattings 4 weeks ago, that would have been different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been so different.
At the start of the season.
Yeah. So I just think, I agree. I think the circus that's been made of it from a public point of view, and then you got a timeline, and You got the big screen at Sky. Bruv, give me a break. And I think it got to Thursday, and I was saying, I don't know if I said it to you two, I can't wait for it to be Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this
you
can be
did,
over.
yeah.
Every hour, Arsenal looking at this player. Man United looking at, bruv, Arsenal not looking at that player.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
Allow it, innit? But I can go on Twitter and just write anything.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
No source,
Them fake
no
accounts
nothing.
and- yeah.
So that's what it is. And then, if you take away the transfer window, I think that gets worse. Because on any Wednesday,
Yeah, someone's
In November.
got a hat trick.
of the IT case, and I would get so much worse.
Nah, I
Fabrizio
don't-
would
I don't
never
think
sleep.
so, man.
Fabrizio
I
would
don't
never sleep because that bits will just carry on. It might thin out,
Yeah.
but bro, it will just carry on. At least now it's done. No more. We'll get links and we'll see nonsense, but it's whatever. Oh, this person's gonna move in January. But imagine any day of the week a transfer can get done. Oh, bro, it would be unbearable. It would be unbearable. Like, do you think that the media circus bit would die down a little bit, or would
No,
ease
yeah, I
up?
think it will because I think you get like the countdown to the transfer window opening, the countdown to the transfer window closing. I mean, if team could just do things like you say on a regular any day of the week, it will just kind of be business as usual. Oh, this has happened.
I think
That's
it gets
happened.
worse. I think it gets worse. And even with the whole Saudi thing now, it just gets worse. A guy has a hot streak from
Yeah.
August to October, November. The phone's ringing.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
Does someone like Solanke stay the whole season? I don't know. So I think I liked the one where it closed before the season started. I liked that.
Mm.
The other countries wouldn't agree to it,
Yeah.
but I liked that. Push it
Yeah.
back further. The transfer window should basically open at the end of last season. I don't know why it doesn't open until the 1st of July.
Yeah.
Right? Just open. And the last game of the season done, transfer window's
It's
open,
open.
right? And then you just close it
And
before the ball's kicked.
But every league would have to start
Yeah,
at the same time, and that never happens, innit? So
but it's not. No, but now it's more aligned. I was listening to someone the other day. It's more aligned. It's like within a week of each other now, where you go across all the big leagues.
yeah, but again, that's the advantage. Like you go to somewhere like Iceland, they're like 30 games in. Like now,
Yeah, but you can do, but you can do dispensations, right? Like same way in the championship. If you have an emergency situation, you can get players in. If you're,
yeah,
you could just do. But we know most of the transfers are done between the same. I was gonna say 5, but let's just say the same 7 or 8 leagues,
Yeah.
right? You know, France, England, Spain, the Dutch league, blah 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 blah. It's Italian league. Just do it before
Yeah.
balls kicked. Everything's done. Everything's dusted. I would
Squads.
agree with that. But if they take away the transfer window, bruv,
I'd
It's
like to
over.
see it. I'd like to see it.
it's over.
Give me 1 year.
It's over. Fabrizio will probably have people. He'll have a network. He'll have
Yeah.
people tweeting, "Here we go," because there's too many things going on. You can't keep up. Do you know what I mean? But we do have a transfer window.
Yeah.
And it did close on Friday. And we did have some shenanigans. Is there a favorite? Is there a standout deal? So not, and when I say standout, right, not just because of the excitement that was last minute. Like, what are some of the good deals, good value? You know, who do you think made some good moves off the top of your head?
I think Villa. I think Aston Villa made some good moves. I think they.
What, like, any particular stand up to you that you wanna?
I just like the additions of. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Onana, I do think he has some positive attributes.
Yeah, you're not having him. You're proper not having him.
Not for the level that people project him to be. And like him as an addition, Ross Barkley as an addition, I think, and then the left back Martin.
Yeah, Matson.
Maatsen.
Yeah.
Maatsen.
John's
I rate him, man. I rate
So
him.
and I just thought these are like really smart moves that I think gives them a stronger foothold in the top 4.
Yeah.
To Villa, I would say Villa for me.
Wait, give them a stronger foothold in the top 4.
Yeah, I think they're finishing in the top 4 this year.
I don't think so. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. None of their signings say to me like, you know, let's be honest, right? If Ollie Watkins doesn't have a season like he had last year, they're gonna struggle to finish top 4. That's number 1, right? And it's not like they've brought anyone in that I feel takes away that burden. They've brought in good players who are gonna be good for the future and are good investments. But I didn't see anyone that says, okay, right, that person has made it a little bit easier or has spread that burden. Do you know what I mean? And then you let go of the RB, that's fine. So now Leon Bailey's more of a main character in terms of on the right hand side.
You got
But what is the name of that midfielder?
Morgan Rogers.
Rogers.
And Morgan
Yeah.
Rogers.
Yo.
Cold. Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. He's young. They got a good team, but I'm not sure top four's happening again. I'm not sure. All right, cool. Who else? Anyone else for you?
No. I think for me, the rest of the window was us.
So you think Villa did the best business?
I think we're going to see the best return from Villa from their investments.
What about you, Keith? What were some of the good deals for you?
I think West Ham have done okay. Like Kilman going from Wolves to them, experienced centre back, and obviously with what's his name, Zuma moving on. I think that's a good deal. City still was it Savino?
Yeah,
He's looked good.
But that was like a bit of a like.
Yeah, like I know it's a bit
You know
in-house,
what that
but
is.
like
wooden dollars.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good deal. I said to you in our group, Sterling, very disappointed he signed for Arsenal. I still think like he's an Arsenal player. Like you associate clubs and players sometimes, and I think
and their style and what they're trying to do.
I think that's a very, very good deal. I think Euro United, like not in terms of the value that they paid for him, but like a young up-and-coming centre-back. Shame he got injured, but I think he would have been like really good, and I think they could have done with him right now.
Fair.
Right now, to be honest. There hasn't been like many killer kind of transfers. It's just like teams are addressing little areas here and there of what they need.
Would we have a different opinion about Chelsea if it wasn't so
Scattergun.
if it chaotic or scattergun, like you said?
Because you can't dismiss it though.
Yeah, to be fair,
I know you can't dismiss
Neto's
it.
a good signing.
Neto,
Yeah.
His injury record's not great, bruv.
Okay, let's say that all the signings work out. Neto is a really good signing. And
if you're just looking at his ability
yeah,
and his
of
attributes
course.
and his football IQ,
Yeah.
excluding the injuries, that's a good signing.
Yeah. And I know you don't like Felix, but
Yeah.
again, like these are we spoke about Chelsea. They signed young, good on their day, young, good players, innit?
Like Dewsbury
So-
Hall, bruv. Like,
I think Dewsbury Hall's a nice
I think
little-
that was
a balance. Like,
homegrown thing. I'm not even gonna lie.
well, he strikes me as like Calvin Phillips Mark II.
no, he's better than Calvin Phillips.
Yeah.
He's
I think the
better-
move is
better.
a bit too early and a bit of a big jump for him. It reminds me of
Scott
dude,
Parker.
no, Parker had a
What, at Chelsea?
career, man.
No, he
No,
played
yeah,
games.
no,
He played
yeah,
games, bro.
yeah,
He played
Parker-
games.
Who else was that?
I'm talking about the Leicester guy they signed.
Drinkwater.
Drinkwater. Yeah,
that's
it
it.
reminds me a little
Yeah.
bit, and they see it from Leicester as well, innit? Yeah, it reminds me of that a little bit.
I felt for him a bit, man.
But yeah, like even going to Arsenal, Calafiori, like I think I mentioned, once you kind of know where you want to play him, because he can play left or centre, I think that's either good cover or if he needs to come in and like play like 5-6 games, I think that's a good signing. Like I say, there hasn't really been an exciting
window. It's just plugging gaps. Right?
Yeah,
It was just
it
like,
hasn't been.
I need a cover for this
But that's
position.
my thing. I don't look at the window as an exciting thing. But what I do like is when it looks like people are thinking about what they're doing. But sometimes, well, too often we've seen deals and you're like, that's an agent-driven deal type vibe.
Yeah.
So that's and I think lots of people, based on where they are, I just think if you look across the league, more and more people are trying to make smart decisions, right? So we had this conversation about Crystal Palace. And agent felt like that, well, they're selling quite a bit of their core of their structure. When you look at each of those deals, you can kind of see why they do it because of the way they've got to operate, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they're getting a new stadium.
And even the players that they brought in, so they signed a guy from a French team, centre back, to replace Anderson. I think it's only cost them like 20 million or something like that, which is half of what Anderson went for. So they've got the cover. They sold Edouard.
Not Ismail. I'm trying to find his centre backs.
Hold on, I've got the list up. I'll show you. They sold Edouard.
Lacroix.
Yeah, him, and
Yeah.
he's getting rave reviews out in France. So they've done
Germany.
pretty good business. And they've brought in Nketiah. Like, and
That's what I'm saying.
we've said on here, going back to last season, that's the kind of club he could go to potentially
Mm.
get his name back, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So let's see who's left Palace. Yeah. Edward didn't make much of an impression there, right?
You?
He's gone. It's a
Leicester.
loan.
Yeah, to Leicester.
It's a loan, but he's not coming back in it.
Yeah.
James Tompkins. I don't even know why he was still there. Who? People don't know. But
At least he's left, gone to Bayern. Obviously,
yeah, at least he's gone to Bayern. Anderson. They sold him for 30 million, right? They bought him for 14,
Yeah.
right? And he's 28, prime. See you later. Sam Johnston, keeper. Again, Jordan Ayew, bruv.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Time to
32,
go.
you got some
But
money
who-
for him.
Yeah. And even, what's his name? Ismail Assar has come into them for 11 million. And when he was at Watford,
I remember.
they was touting him for like 30.
Liverpool. Well, they were saying Liverpool wanted him.
Is that
Yeah.
the same one?
Yeah,
same
so he
guy,
went
bruv.
to Marseille,
Marseille.
and they signed him for 11 million from Marseille.
Mm.
So then you look at, and then to your point, look at who they brought in. They brought in Trevor Chalobah. I think he's a decent centre back. Right?
Yeah.
He's not. Well, he could be well-being. We don't know. He's not played in a team long enough
Yeah.
to be that right. He's still only 25. Feels like he's been around forever. Obviously, talked about Sarr. Got a centre back. You got Nketiah, bruv. Like, just remolding your squad nicely. Simple. Brought in Matt Turner.
Mm.
Just little things here and there. Just keeping it going. They've kept Eze. So
Yeah.
I think they've done some smart business there.
Yeah.
And with PSR and the new
I think
stadium
that's
and
had
all
a
this
big
stuff.
impact, Yeah.
But even within PSR, still making decisions that are either answering your questions, your football questions, or progressing you. I don't think it's a bad thing. Who else did that? I mean, Chelsea. So we talk about all the players they bought, yeah. But to be fair, who left? Maatson, 40 million, right?
Mhm.
44 million euros or 40 million quid. Conor Gallagher, 38 million. Lukaku, 30 million. They got 30 million for Lukaku.
Yeah. He scored
Um,
last night as well.
Bruv, Amari Hutchinson, 23 million. Bruv, they've done business. Silver's left. How much money was he on?
Yeah.
Ziyech is left.
Lewis Hall, yeah, he said
Bruv, like,
Kepa's gone on loan.
they're doing nonsense coming in, but they've trimmed that wage bill apart from Sterling. They're still paying half of that. So I still think it's nonsense what they're doing. And they're treating it more like the players being assets and commodities is supposed to be the secondary thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it sounds like it feels like that's the first thing on their minds. Right? But yeah, I think the teams you named, I don't know half of the people that Brighton have brought in, so I can't comment. I've still not seen Koja Dewberry play yet, I don't think. But
He's at,
Arsenal player. Is he gone on loan?
yeah, he went on loan to a championship team. He played either yesterday or today.
Blackburn.
That's
He went
it.
to Blackburn.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's gonna play first team games. Good. Yeah. I would go. I'd go with you. I'd probably go Villa.
Mm.
And I like the business Palace did. I like what Arsenal did. Effectively in every part of the pitch, we've done something.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
keeper, defender, midfielder. Yeah.
And a wide forward.
Yeah.
Or attacking player.
I think Martinelli's in big trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if Sterling comes in and can play at a level or get him to the level that he wants, that Arteta wants, I think he plays a lot on the left. I think he plays a lot.
I think he ticks that box of intelligence, physicality.
He's just been there, done it.
Yeah, and experience.
Yeah.
Bro, they got 60 million euros for Derby, Villa.
Yeah.
No wonder they sold him.
Yeah.
Douglas Luiz, of course, he's gone. That's a big loss.
But like I said, I think they've added additions to kind of cover that loss.
Yeah, fair. Arsenal let go of Smith Rowe, Nketiah, Ramsdale, El Neni, Lokonga. Nelson's gone out on loan. Tavares has gone out on another loan. How long is his contract, bruv? Vieira's gone out on loan. Suarez obviously got released. And
Who's Tavares at? I'm sure he got man of the match in the match yesterday.
Lazio.
Yeah, he got man of the match.
Who?
Tavares. He got 2
Did he?
assists. Yeah.
yeah, he always does that though. When he went
Yeah,
went to
he
Marseille, he
starts
did a
off.
madness. Did well, and
Forest
then
started off well.
yeah, exactly. And then before you know it,
Too much
Yeah,
partying.
he's kicking the ball over the
Yeah.
bar.
I would have liked to centre back at Liverpool, but it is what it is.
Would you?
Yeah, instead
Yeah,
of
just as cover.
Gomez
So,
is there.
So Gomez is there.
Yeah, so we've got 4. I would have just liked
You wanted 5?
just another one.
You know what? Like I heard something earlier on today. Like people want a bench for the bench now.
You want
Give it,
5 centre backs?
Two injuries. And you're
still
struggling.
You still got 2.
What if one of them gets injured? We end up
Someone
playing.
in your youth. That's why the transfer window's closed.
You know when we had a mad.
Nat Phillips.
No, Nat Phillips and Reece Williams are still contracted to our club, and I get it. They came in, got us out of a hole, and we gave them 4 5-year contracts to thank them. They're still there, clubbing around.
No, Williams has gone to someone alone. I think I saw it this week.
They're going to get loans until their contracts run out.
Yeah.
But we need quality. Like Phillips went to Derby, and I can't remember who Reece Williams went to. But yeah, as I said, with us, I think Slot was just assessing the team. He's happy with it.
Yeah,
So-
you're fine. Konate, Quadsar,
Yeah.
Gomez. Yeah, you guys are
Yeah.
good.
And Brighton's window was alright as well.
Yeah. Oh, Minter. They signed from Newcastle, didn't they?
Yeah.
The guy.
Well, the guy that had never played for Newcastle, and then they bought him for
Yeah.
like 40 million or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
35.
he played well in France or wherever he
Yeah,
was on
no.
loan last year. So one of them ones.
All right, so now the window's closed, we can do predictions.
But you could do your prediction.
No, well, I'm here for it. You do yours.
Are we doing order? I guess top 4.
I'll do both.
Order.
I'll do both. So you guys are not changing yours now the window's closed.
We didn't do order.
We didn't do order.
I'll do order.
I'll do order as well.
All right, so my top 4 is going to be in order. Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Me, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Liverpool, City, and Villa.
City coming third.
I just think there might be something.
This is recorded, you know.
That's why we're doing it.
That's why we're doing it.
That's on tape.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not confident in that call, but I'm just making a...
I mean, Chelsea are going to mess me up, but I'm here now. It's fine. Go on.
Liverpool, City, Arsenal,
What? Oh.
Chelsea.
So we're coming further. You're winning the league.
Yeah.
And City are second.
The same as yours, just our teams are replaced.
It's not the
just
same,
do
then,
that
is it?
because...
No, then it's not the same, then, is it? If our team are replaced, it's not the same.
No,
I'm saying we're both backing our team. That's all. That's what I'm saying. We're both backing our
No, but I'm
own
backing
teams.
my team based on reality.
Data.
Yeah.
Logic, yeah.
All right, cool. I'm basing
On vibes.
mine on what I've
Your
seen
vibe.
since Slot has come in. As I said,
What, 3 weeks?
As I said, we're
Came in
you're
with a
asking for
bit
a
of-
challenge.
Like, he was speaking from his chest earlier, you know? Like,
Yeah,
he came in
like-
like, we won 3-0.
3 weeks ago, you said, "Do you
Alright.
think I can challenge?" Yeah, I think we can do it.
I said Charlie, they didn't say will it.
I'm saying we can.
All right,
So,
cool.
and who's fourth? Chelsea.
Yeah, I think Chelsea are gonna gel.
You think?
Yeah,
Well, we
like you said, their weak points are the goalkeeper and their centre back pairing, but they've got enough. Like I think they've got enough cover. Like they played in the Conference League, man. They can put out.
And I
them,
tell you
them
what,
scraps on a
if they
Thursday.
fire Maresca, I'm doubling down on it.
they're not going to fire him. The hypotheticals.
He's the risk, not the players.
Yeah,
He's the risk.
but I don't think top 4 is going to be like cemented. Like I think it's going to be a clamour with like. I still think Tottenham will be in there. I still think Villa will be in there. I think
It's just Villa. I'm confident it's Villa.
that's fine.
Let's see when Ollie Watkins wakes up.
There you go. And Duran's doing his... Anyway,
Again, let's see how long that loss.
What you
And
think?
then, like it's,
All right, we'll see.
and then lastly, this week we had the Champions League draw, which has now become sort of a league format. But I'm going to pass over to Keith to explain it.
Hey, Keith.
Right. So basically, there are 36 teams in a big league
Mm-hmm.
for all the teams that are qualified. Instead of it being the previous iteration where you play in a group of 4, you play each team home and away. What happens now is that you were drawn against 8 random teams, so 8 different teams, and you play 4 games at home, 4 games away. And the way they were done it, they were like teams were seeded.
Mm-hmm.
So there were pot 1 teams, pot
Yeah.
2 teams, pot 3, pot 4, and you play 2 teams from each pot, home and away. Same format, 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, nothing for a loss. When all the games are played and said and done, the top 8 teams qualify automatically for the last 16 knockout round. Teams ranked 9 to 24, they play each other in a 2-legged playoff to try and get one of those 8 spots to finish off the last 16. Teams that finish below 24th, they're out of Europe completely. So they don't go into the Europa League or the Conference League. And the Conference League and Europa League are following the same format for their competitions.
Okay.
It means more games are being played. So there's 8 games. So the kind of group stage now runs from September until January.
Whoa.
So yeah, it's a lot longer. And then when the last 16 is played, the teams that finish 1 to 8, they are seeded.
Yeah.
So essentially the team that finish first and second, they can't play each other until the final because it's done in like a bracket.
Yes.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So the teams that finish, the teams that play in the playoff to get through to the last 16, they'll play one of the top 8 teams, and it's done like that. And then it's just a straight knockout. The kind of downside to that is that from the last 16, you're able to play someone from your own country, which didn't really happen previously, but it is what it is. And then it's just a straight knockout format, quarterfinal, semi-final, final. UEFA have done this because they wanted more games against the bigger teams happening more often. And you've seen from the draw that's
Arsenal PSG is the first.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you look at PSG's fixtures, get a chance because they've been handed a tough tough group of fixtures.
Yeah, I mean, first match day 1, AC Milan Liverpool. What else? City Inter. Atalanta versus Arsenal. So yeah, Leipzig versus Atletico.
Yeah,
not a joke. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So a lot of people are like, you've already done this to kind of fend off the Super League, and it's pretty much not based on the Super League, but it's not too dissimilar.
Yeah.
With change in football, some people are just not going to buy into it.
Yeah, but if they did nothing about what the Super League came to do, you'd be saying, "Oh, you're not doing your job." So fair enough.
And to be fair, even this iteration of the Champions League, people were like, "Well, why are you opening it up to teams that are not champions?" Because obviously the old European Cup was just league winners, and then it came to like runners up, and now it's down to teams that finish 4th or even winning Europa League, etc. I think it's going to be good. I'm basing this playing on Football Manager, but I think it's going to be good, and it's going to give teams a different perspective on how they navigate Europe. So previously, you could, as we said last week, win 3 or 4 group games and then chill for the last 2. Where now, up until the last group game, and all the last group games are going to be played at the same time, there could be something on the line for every team. So you could be 9th and want to finish 8th, so you don't play that extra playoff game. You could be wanting to get into that playoff spot. You could be 3rd, but want to get up to 2nd. So your bracket and ranking and seeding is better. I was reading on a website where they kind of ran a simulator of the format, and they said going into the last group game, out of the 36, there were only 5 teams that didn't have something to play for. Obviously, this might not happen in real life, but it's only the top 2 teams and the bottom 3 teams that had nothing to play for the last group games. So that means you've got 31 teams with something on the line going into the last group game, where you don't get that in the current format. So it's going to be interesting, and it'll be interesting to see how teams navigate Europe this season with their league.
I like it.
So
yeah, I like it. I think I mean, if it was up to me, would go back to just champion or just first 2 and just make the Europa League bigger.
Yeah,
if it was up to me. But anything that makes the Champions League a little bit more interesting to watch, selfishly as a football fan, and changes those dynamics. Like the away goal, that changed things.
Yeah,
massively. So even little things like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. More games, more Champions League games, more Champions League music.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's just about like the competition now. Like you're seeing, because in the old format, was like there would usually only be like one group of death,
Mm.
but all the other groups were like you could call the order it was gonna come in.
Yeah.
Now this format, you're like, oh, this is interesting. Like
Mm.
some tricky teams, some tricky opposition, and you can't hide from them. You can't avoid them.
Mm.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be really good. And I look forward to like the tactical setups and seeing certain players a bit closer than what I would have seen them if it was the old group stage. Because obviously we're not watching every single game as closely as we are going to be watching this one due to more games. So yeah.
Mm. Cool. Well,
before we finish, England squad was announced.
oh, yes, of
So they
course.
got their
Interim manager.
Nations League games against Ireland and Finland. So Lee Carsley, interim manager, announced a couple of weeks ago, who I think should be given the job permanently, just based off on how well the under-21s played.
Let him manage the game first.
I don't care. Give him the keys.
But 21.
Remember I called it, yeah?
Seniors are different.
When we win the World Cup in 26. Remember, I called it. Yeah, he kept a few familiar faces, but he's gone against the grain a little bit. And I think like the biggest one is Angel Gomez getting a call up. I don't think anyone would have expected that. But going
He's
back
in
to
France, right?
Yeah, so going back to his under-21, he was part of the Euros and the World Cup squads.
And he was a key player.
Yeah,
for
and he was a key player. And like Carsley worked really closely with him.
Morgan
My boy Morgan Gibbs White, I said should be called up. He was the captain of the World Cup, the Euro team.
Livramento.
Yep, Livramento, Madueke. And surprisingly, Grealish was called up. So
he's sprinkled in a few favourites, so he doesn't look like he's getting mad. So I don't know why Maguire's there. I don't know why Grealish is there, but I think he's just sprinkled in a few people, so it doesn't look like he's gone totally rogue.
I could understand why Grealish is there though.
Why?
On a playing style and how he plays. So it might be a tactical reason. So he likes how he plays, and that's the type of football he may want to play, or how he wants the winger.
He's quite free flowing.
Yeah.
What I was surprised about though was Wharton going back down to the under-21s. So yeah, considering the kind of furore around him at the Euros, him not being selected.
But he didn't play, and also what we're not privy to is the conversations he would have had with Gareth Southgate around how people performed in training and blah blah blah.
How they adapted to the
So maybe Wharton, they said maybe it's a bit too early for you, blah blah blah. But I agree. Well, who would have come in instead of Wharton? Let me think. Gomez, basically. Gomez or Gibbs White, right?
Yeah.
Coming instead of Wharton. Yeah, fair enough. But I like it. It's fresh, it's young. I wish he had the courage to leave out Maguire, but
But who for?
Anybody. I don't care. He needs to come out there, bro.
I do. Don't get me wrong. Maguire's not elite. Far from it. However, if you look at the current options of centre backs, he's still in the top 3.
Who is of what? UK?
Of English centre backs, who's
maybe Bramthwaite would have gone in if he was fit. I think that, but I don't think he's touched pitch for England yet.
Nope.
Maybe like
and he's injured at the moment.
Yeah, but I say if he was fit, he might have been the person to swap out. But
But
Maguire
anyway,
started
slow progress, man. Slow progress.
Maguire
Rico Lewis
started-
is in there, which I was surprised out. It's good. But slow progress. Maguire will be where he needs to be soon.
Yeah, no, I think Carsley's on the front foot, kind of flowing football. How the under-21s were. I think if he can translate that into the senior team, I think he'll do well.
it'll be
But
good.
like I say, time will tell.
Really good. Okay. We shall see. All right. Thanks, boys. We will see you next week. It'll be international break. We'll see whether Keith's campaign for Carsley's appointment is going well. That's it. Peace.
Peace.